hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be murdered.
Yesterday at 5 p.m., I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death.
Charlie Kirk was one of the most significant figures in American politics of the last 10 to 15 years. He was very good at what he did.
What is a woman?
That's a stupid ass question, dude. That's a dumb ass question.
What is a woman, college student?
What is a woman? Oh, you're talking to a college student instead of, like, I don't know, someone who has media training?
They can't answer what a woman is. It's not a trick question.
The thing that he symbolized was his willingness to engage in open debate, even with people he disagreed with. Charlie Kirk's views were not always moderate. He had a lot of views that would be classified as extreme by a lot of people.
Where is democracy in the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, okay. So
No, hold on. Where is the word democracy?
I don't think the word democracy is in the Constitution.
So where is the word democracy in any of the founding fathers?
But he was willing to stand up and defend them. He was willing to put himself in front of a crowd of hostile people and answer their questions and debate them and argue. If you want one part of Charlie Kirk's legacy that you should stick to, that you should really treasure, it's that willingness to talk to people with whom he disagreed. And it's sort of disappointing to see the opposite of that happening. People latching onto Charlie Kirk's death and doing the opposite and saying we should shut down people who disagree with us. It's the sort of thing that Charlie Kirk himself probably would not ever have supported, and yet that is the reaction we've seen from far too much.
Let me ask you, in the conflict of Israel versus Hamas, who's the good guy?
It's certainly a positive thing that Charlie Kirk is being remembered for his greater traits, his willingness to debate and all that sort of thing.
Regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy.
It's actually been somewhat comforting in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death to see the vast majority of the left in the United States, particularly the Democratic Party and all its elected officials, explicitly condemn it immediately, including all previous presidents from that party. That said, there has been some really bad stuff on social media from people on the extremes of the left.
In a now deleted post, King falsely claimed that Kirk had once advocated for stoning gay people. King quickly faced backlash for the post.
Sometimes openly celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, it is important to acknowledge that some people have behaved quite inhumanely in the wake of this murder.
To see the nation's flag fly at half-staff for a man who was a proud racist.
I mean, what I would like to see from the left, and actually from the right as well, is a return to understanding that your political opponents are just other human beings. They are complex, they are grey. They are not just all good or all bad. You're not fighting evil, you're fighting against people who have some political views you disagree with. There is a distinction between those two things.
They are so shocked that people don't give a fuck. They're so shocked that even though this person was a Christian, we're not pretending that we don't remember what he said. We're not pretending that he was a good person.
In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students.
The left would do very well in the US to try its very best to talk to Trump supporters, not past them. I think undoubtedly the left should acknowledge that it can do a lot better in that regard.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
The defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk.
As soon as this shooting happened, there was just this huge fight over whose tribe the shooter belonged to. Were they right-wing? Were they left-wing? And this debate erupted before we actually knew any of the facts. Now, obviously, he's murdered a right-wing figure. So the assumption is he's coming from the left. That will all come out during his trial. But it's troubling to see the instinct that what matters is not the facts, but whether or not you can pin something on the other side. And that is not just something we've seen from the pro-Trump forces, it's something we saw from the left as well. Just trying to find any way to absolve themselves of responsibility for this.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh my God. Wait, Cody, go, run.
We need to be really careful about what we say when it comes to the actual alleged culprit in this shooting. Like anybody else, he gets due process, he gets to go through the legal system, present a defense, all of that. What seems clear to us now, what we can say, is that this person must have been radicalized. And it seems like he was very embedded in online culture. We saw in one of the messages from the alleged shooter, talking about Charlie Kirk, saying, "I've had enough of his hatred. There's some level of hatred that cannot be negotiated out." That was his position. And that is exactly the position that politicians and people involved in politics in America need to be fighting back against. You cannot have the attitude that someone is so far gone that you cannot even talk to them, that the only recourse is to kill them, to silence them. The opposite needs to be the case. You need to be talking to the people who disagree with you. You need to be trying to persuade people instead of silencing them. And that is something that Charlie Kirk himself, whatever you might have thought of his views, and personally I disagreed with quite a lot of them, he would agree with that.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
And that is a fitting legacy to pursue when it comes to Charlie Kirk. This idea that we need to talk to each other, not past each other.